Like, I hate when people do a competition and, like, they don't come in first, and then the person that comes in first, they try to make an excuse of like, oh, he did this, or oh, they did this. And it's like, that makes you look so insecure as a person. And I've been in that situation, and now looking back, I'm like, man, I looked like the average person. What is going on, YouTube, and welcome back to another D.B.A. Mindset podcast. I am your host, Bryce Dettorre, founder of D.B.A., CEO of D.B.A., and creator of the D.B.A. Mindset podcast, a podcast that is really geared towards one thing, one goal in mind, and that is eliminating that voice of average that unfortunately we all listen to and we all have going on in our mind. And sometimes that voice wins, and sometimes that leads to an average life. So on this podcast, we talk about a bunch of different things. We talk about communication, we talk about nutrition, we talk about fitness, we talk about leadership, we talk about voice inside your head. We really focus on personal development on this podcast, and this podcast was created with that in mind. If you obviously are on the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel started as a fitness training / workout / nutrition / lifestyle kind of YouTube. But for those of you who do not know, if you are new to the channel, I actually started over, I want to say it was 12 years ago now, as a motivational speaker for high schools. I went around and I started speaking to high schoolers about everything that I read in all the books that you can't see behind the camera. But I started reading books, started reading stuff that I was taught and learned from and read from people that were very successful, and realized that I was never taught this in life. I was never taught this in school. However, I feel like most people need to hear this stuff, because when I read it, I was freaking out and I wanted to tell everybody that was within 5 feet of me. And that's where I branched out and started going and speaking to high schools about it, and the kids really liked what I was talking about, which eventually led to me doing it full-time, and now I am a full-time special education teacher at the high school that I actually graduated from. So the reason why I created this podcast is because I feel like on my normal weekly videos, vlogs, that talk about nutrition, fitness, training, all that stuff, I can't really go into depth on certain topics and certain questions that I get asked a lot. I could touch on them in like a 30-minute video, but those videos are all geared towards like nutrition, working out, training, supplementation, all that stuff. Whereas this is the other side of the D.B.A. mantra, motto, is the actual mindset. So there's 2 sets to it. There's the D.B.A. living not like the average person physical fitness wise, and that would cover nutrition, fitness, training, all that side of it. But there's another side that is just as important, and I would say it's about 50-50, and that is the mental side, the D.B.A. mindset side, which is what this podcast goes over. We talk about basically every topic and every subject that I read about, whether it's about leadership, whether it's about goal setting, whether it's about dealing with failure, dealing with successes, stuff that I read in books that I get really excited about, and I want to share with you guys. So this is going to be the 4th episode, and I'm excited about this episode because this is a topic that was like the #1 requested topic when I went and spoke to high schools about. So I'll dive into that. But the feedback that I've been getting from the podcast style videos, I'm really enjoying it. And I appreciate everybody that's commented and kind of liked and that's just shared with me how you're listening to it, whether you're either cooking, whether you're driving, whether you're working out, whatever it is. That's really what this is geared towards, is once a week I could share with you guys some knowledge that I get from books that I've been applying in my own life, and then hopefully it can help you guys. Because I read a lot. All right? If you follow me on Instagram, you see that I'm fortifying my mind every single day. I'm doing some type of personal development. And some of the stuff I read is really good. Some of the stuff I don't feel like it's that important, and that's what I'm hoping you guys can get from this podcast. Is you guys may hear me say stuff that you want to apply to your life. You may hear me say stuff that you've already heard before and you're not really going to use it, and that's fine. I want you guys to just kind of pick and choose the same way you guys pick and choose from my training videos. I'm a firm believer that if you hear something that you think is good, go out and apply it to your life. Don't be just the people that, read all this stuff in personal development books, love what you read, but never actually go out there and apply it. You're just like someone who has all this information, but you've never applied it to your own life. And that's really what this podcast is about, is just taking a topic each week, diving into it, and hopefully giving you guys some tips that you can apply in your own life to help create that successful, great life and steer you clear of living an average life. So let's get into today's topic. All right, so today's topic, we're going to talk about an epidemic that is going on in the world right now, and we are getting infiltrated and overrun by people that have this, I would say it's an illness to them, and that illness is called haters. Yes, that's right. We're going to talk about the people out there that are sipping on some haterade and possibly hating on you if you're trying to accomplish your goals. Because chances are, if you are trying to apply what I'm talking about in these videos and trying to not live your average life, you're going to get haters. Any person that steps out of what everybody else is doing, which D.B.A, right? You got a group of average people and you're trying to not do what the average person does, you're going to draw attention to yourself. And anytime you draw attention to yourself, unfortunately we live in a world where there are, I would say, more haters, and I could be wrong on this, comment below if you think I'm wrong. I would say there's more haters out there than there are supporters and people that actually want to see you succeed. And the reason why is because haters, haterade, hater syndrome, whatever you want to call it. I don't even like using the word hater because I feel like it like degrades that person. When you guys hear what I'm talking about and 3 reasons that I feel that they are haters, I'm hoping that it kind of puts a different perspective on them and you kind of feel for them after it, because at the end of the day, they're thinking this way because I'm gonna get into it. Just bear with me. So the first reason, if you are getting hated on and people are upset with you, the number one key reason that I have found, and when I say this, because I get asked a lot, like when I would speak to high schools, they would say, how do you deal with haters? As if I'm like the all-knowing person. First of all, I don't know everything. Second of all, this voice of average, I have to fight it every single day. I don't know everything, and it's not like I live this perfect life where it's like, oh, if I say I'm going to, it just lasts forever. No, it's like a muscle, right? If you don't work out, you lose muscle. It'd be nice if you worked out for like a year and you just stayed buff for the rest of your life. It doesn't work that way. If you don't believe me, look at my Instagram. When I had one of my 4 surgeries, I lost that muscle so quick and it just deteriorated. So these tips and tricks that I give you guys in these podcasts, I have to apply these every single day. There are methods and strategies that I've used that have been useful to me, but that doesn't mean they work all the time, and that doesn't mean I'm like bulletproof and I don't have to constantly fight that voice of average every single day, just like you. Okay, so when I tell you guys these are the 3 things that they suffer from, I'm speaking from personal experience and also from what I've read. So the number one reason why I think people hate on you is they're jealous. At the end of the day, they want what you have. You are doing something that is letting them know they do not have it. So it's hard. You got to put yourself in their situation, so you got to have empathy. How would you feel if you wanted to lose 30 pounds and someone you know just lost 30 pounds? It's going to be hard for you. It's going to be hard for you to sit back and support them. It's very rare that you find someone like that has a goal. Say you want to start your own business, you want to start your own YouTube channel, you want to start your own clothing brand, whatever it is, and then so-and-so goes out and does it. It's very rare to meet someone that's actually very excited and supportive of that person, because it's a constant reflection, and you have this thought, and this is speaking from personal experience. I've had that situation where, and I'll use YouTube for a while, or for my example, where I always wanted to start my own YouTube channel, and I would follow all these people that started their own YouTube channel, and I would hate on them. I would just be like, man, I could do what they were, they're doing, or I could do it better, or they aren't even that good. And I was saying all these, the voice of average was for sure winning, right? And I even had someone that, like, when I played football and I graduated, this other dude started playing football, and people compared us to each other, and they're like, dude, he's bigger than you, he's faster than you, he's stronger than you, all this stuff. And I hated hearing that. And then later, it came out that he, posted that he was going to start his own YouTube channel. And I was the biggest drinker of the haterade. I was just like, man, and I was in the back of my head, I was hoping that it was going to fail. And the only reason why is because I was jealous. At the end of the day, 100%, I was jealous. And I couldn't support him. I wanted to see him fail just because I haven't done it. And I know that sounds terrible, but I'm just going to keep it 100% with you guys. And that is a sign that when I was thinking these thoughts, I knew that the voice of average was winning, and I was a super jealous person. So chances are, if you're doing something and someone's jealous, it's a key, like this is where you got to have empathy. Think back to like how you would feel if you were in their situation. Another key like phrase that I hear people say, and I've had a lot of people say it to me, and they'll tell me like, Bryce, I'll always be there if you ever need me. And these same people are the ones that are never there supporting me when life's going good, right? When stuff's going good in my life, they're nowhere to be found. When stuff hits the fan and it sucks and I'm at like an all-time low, then they come in and say, support me. And this is like my thought process on that. If they cannot support you when you're at an all-time high, and the only time they support you or are there for you is when you're at an all-time low, you need to be asking yourself, why is that? Is it because they can't stand to be around you when you're at an all-time high? They can't sit there right next to you hand in hand and be excited that you're succeeding? They have to be there when you're at an all-time low and you're not feeling good and your life is, I guess you could say, sucks. That's when they're there for you? That leads me to my next topic where it comes to there's levels of this thing. There's levels of this thing called life. And I hate to say levels because it's like, oh, I'm on a whole different level. But there is. At the same time, like there's people, like for instance, teaching. I'm a teacher, right? I've only been teaching for 3 years. If you're a veteran teacher, chances are you're on a whole nother level of me. And that's fine, right? You're probably you should be a better teacher. You've been doing it longer than me. Now in fitness, like if I've been doing it for 15 years and you just started off, I should be better than you. We're on a different level. Not saying I hate to say the word level or like better but at the same time, there's nothing wrong with that. Like you should be able to say when someone's at a better level than you or at a higher level than you, but then you just need to analyze why they're at a higher level than you. So the second reason is when you guys are out there succeeding at life and doing good, not only are you drawing attention that people are going to be jealous of you, but you're going to be a reflection of what they're not doing, right? And I've said this example before, like when I watched, I used to be a big fan of the, what was it, America's Weight Loss or something. It was something with where you lost a lot of weight. Chris Powell was the host. It was a great show. But the biggest like hater and the person that was always wanting the person that was trying to lose weight to fail was their spouse. They would sabotage their spouse. So you got a married couple. One of them goes on the show to lose a lot of weight. They start being determined. They start waking up early. They start working out. They start doing cardio. They start making good choices when it comes to eating. And their spouse, who lives with them every single day, who expects them to do the same thing they're doing, now that they're changing it, it's a constant reflection of, I want to lose weight. I want to wake up early. I want to work out. I want to do cardio. I want to make healthy decisions. But I'm not doing any of that. And you are. So it kind of goes hand in hand with jealousy. Imagine, put yourself in that situation where you're having the discipline to wake up early and work out. You're having the discipline to go, when you guys go to a staff meeting or something and you turn away the donut and you start making healthy decisions. If there's someone there that has been trying to lose weight for a very long time and they see you do that, chances are they're not going to be very supportive of you. It's going to be a reminder of, I'm not making a healthy decision. And that sometimes leads to like seclusion. People start like not wanting you around because you're a constant reminder of what they're wanting them to do. And that's where it comes down to like the reflection thing, where you are constantly reminding them of things that they're not doing in life. And that's where, again, if you decide to do things that people aren't doing and live a successful life and you are wanting to dream big or do big things, chances are, and it could be even nice things. I've had people get upset. Like I remember when I made a video for my wife for Mother's Day, and I was excited about it. I was like, man, this is a really cool video. I'm super happy with how it came out. And I showed a couple of the guys that I work with who are all married. And one of them made a joke. He was like, yeah, there's no shot that I'm showing my wife that. Like, you make other husbands look terrible. Was that my intention? No, not at all. My intention was to do something sweet for my wife, and that's how I was thinking. But again, I've been in that situation where someone has done something where I'm like, man, I didn't think of that. Man, I wish I would have thought of that. But I didn't. And that's fine. Now I have a choice. I could either, next time I'm presented with something like that, think above and beyond, like that person did, or I could sit there and hate on that person and be like, oh, that guy's an idiot, or it wasn't that nice, or basically get jealous. So if someone's upset with you on something that you have just done, even if it's a nice task, or if you have accomplished something, again, you got to have empathy. You got to step back and ask yourself, okay, is this something they've been wanting to do? Because if it is, then again, you're a reflection of what they're not doing. So they're not going to be happy for you. And two, they're going to be jealous that you did it and they haven't done it. So at this point, you have 2 out of the 3 tips that I'm going to give you. But both of them, they should change your mindset. And again, guys, when I'm saying this, these are things that I'm trying to apply in my life. Because I don't do well when, I think I've told you guys in my video before, my love language is words of affirmation. So I, unfortunately, am constantly looking for like words of approval from certain people in my life. And if I don't get that, it kind of messes me up. And if I don't get that from people that I feel are either jealous or reflection or hating on me or whatever, it's even worse. So when I'm saying these things, these are things that I'm trying to apply to my life to cope with this thing called haters, or people that just aren't happy for you. By taking these 2, you should be able to kind of step back and almost feel like, man, that sucks. I wish they were at a point in their life where they could actually be happy for people. Which leads me into my last one, and that is that they're insecure. And the reason why I say they're insecure is because I had this actually happen this year at work. And it was funny because I had to check that voice. Oh my gosh, that voice of average came in hot. And I was like, oh my goodness, I sound like an idiot right now. There's another teacher on campus. Okay, so on campus, obviously, how do I say this? When you work out 7 days a week and you eat a certain way, you're going to look a certain way. You're going to feel a certain way. You're going to act a certain way. And that's what I do around campus. So it's funny, I eat lunch with a group of people, group of teachers, and there was one time where they were like, hey man, I don't think you're the buffest teacher on campus anymore. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And they were like, yeah, have you seen so-and-so? And I was like, no, I never seen him. And they were like, yeah, I think he's got you beat. I think he's buffer than you, or bigger than you, or whatever they said. And I was like, who's this guy? And I was like, kind of like, and I could feel the voice of jealousy and reflection, like, no, there's no way. Well, then I saw the dude, and at first that voice almost took over and was like, no, there's no way he's bigger than me. But I had to check myself, right? It's this muscle that you got to constantly work out. I saw the dude, big dude, strong dude. So I had to, at first I was like, no, there's no way. But then when I saw him, I was like, no, actually, I think he's got me beat. So I went and I told him, and I said, I think he's got me beat. Turned out I talked to the teacher, and he's an absolute beast of a teacher. He's done like 3 Ironmans. He's a crazy good swimmer. Like, the guy's an actual beast when it comes to fitness. Like, he's on a whole nother level. Like, when I was like, oh, I've done a Spartan race and I've done this, he's like, oh, I've done 2 Ironmans. And I'm like, okay, you're on another. He's done marathons, all that stuff. So, you know, whole different level of me. But at the same time, I had to fight that voice and be like, okay, please don't, Bryce, Brad. I had to tell myself, Bryce, don't be that guy that literally tries to sabotage or belittle this dude's accomplishments. Because that is the biggest sign that you are insecure as a person. And I've been there. And I've seen people do it. When I see people do it, it's very disheartening, because it's like your insecurity is way louder than what you're saying right now. Meaning, like, for instance, if you see someone at the gym, and I used to do this when I started working out, if I saw someone bigger than me, and I knew that they were bigger than me or better physique than me, and someone said that, like, oh man, dude, that guy puts you to shame. First thing I would say is, oh, he's on steroids. Or, oh, he doesn't work better. Oh, it's his genetics. I would come up with all these lame, average excuses of belittling this person. I don't know his story. He could be on steroids. Or he could be someone that has worked his butt off, and now I'm going to try and take that away. Like, I hate when people do a competition and, like, they don't come in first, and then the person that comes in first, they try to make an excuse of like, oh, no, he did this, or oh, they did this. And it's like, that makes you look so insecure as a person. And I've been in that situation, and now looking back, I'm like, man, I looked like the average person. I had the average mindset. It won, and it was just me letting that person. And when you read books and you become aware of this, and you've been in situations like me where you analyze your thoughts and everything, you know this stuff. Some people just don't think anything of it. They're like, oh, really? Did they cheat? And they buy into it. But as someone who's been reading a lot on mental health and how it works and your mindset, you're literally just saying that you have to try and bring that person down because you see them on another level, so you have to belittle them. And that is one of my biggest things that I hate, is like when people do a competition, whether it's a race, whether it's a strongman, whether it's, I don't know, a fitness competition, whatever, and they lose. And they just can't say, you know, at the end of the day, they were better than me, even if they did cheat, even if they did do steroids. If it was me and I could give you some advice, I would say do not belittle them, because at the end of the day, you're literally letting them know that you're insecure about something. I've had people tell me on my YouTube channel, which I've actually come out and said, you're not very strong. Like, they'll see me doing a video and they'll be like, oh, you're only squatting this, or you're only benching this. You're right. I'm absolutely the weakest fit person you will ever meet. That's fine. My goal is not to be strong, right? So if I have someone that's very strong but maybe wishes they looked a certain way, they don't look that certain way, those are the people that come after me and they'll say like, oh, I'm super weak. I understand I'm super weak. I'm fine with that. I've had too many surgeries to try and be strong. My goal is to look a certain way and feel a certain way. And at the end of the day, I'm doing that. So I'm not going to be the fastest. I'm not going to be the strongest. I'm not going to have the best physique. And I'm okay with that. And the second I start belittling someone and saying, well, they're cheating, or that, you know, they don't look as good as me, but they're super strong. Just you're literally letting people know that you're insecure. So if you're out there and you're watching this and you do competitions or whatever that, or you're on social media and you're constantly saying, like, if someone gives praise to someone else and you cannot sit there and say that dude is actually really good, or you know what, that girl's a beast, or whatever it is, if you can't sit there and say that, and instead you sit back, the first thing that comes to your mind is something on how to bring them down. Oh, she cheated. Oh, he never does that. Oh, he comes from this. If that's what your mind is going to, just realize you got to step back and think to yourself, what am I so insecure about right now? Why can I not give that person praise? What insecurity of mine is holding me back from giving that person praise that they deserve? And you need to self-reflect, right? Now, if someone else is doing that, if you have an accomplishment that you just achieved, and then you're sitting with someone and the first thing they do is they try to bring you down, take a step back, have some empathy for that person, and realize that they're one of the three. One, they're jealous of what you just accomplished, so that sucks. You're doing something that they wish they were able to. Two, you are a reflection of what they're not willing to do. I'm not saying they can't do it. They could easily do it. They just haven't made the sacrifices. So that sucks. Or three, you just revealed something they're insecure about. Could be their weight. It could be their communication skills. It could be that they aren't comfortable talking in front of people. It could be, I don't know. It could be thousands of different things. There's a lot of insecurities out there. I know I have my own. I know everybody has them. But just realize if you do something and the second someone starts bashing you, just realize they're at a point in their life that you've probably been there. I know I've been there. And that sucks. So don't get upset. That's how the average person handles it. Don't, try to fire back and defend yourself or belittle them. Don't do that. Just almost kill them with kindness and just kind of push on. That would be my advice. So those would be the three things that I would say are the biggest indicators that you're going to, or I guess situation that you're going to face from people when it comes to dealing with haters. Now, again, I don't like using the word haters because I think at all points in our life, we all hate on certain things. I know I still do to this day. There's certain people and certain things that happen in my life that I could feel that voice starting to win. And it's one of those things that, again, if you're doing something and someone's hating on you, don't have this almighty thing like where you get upset and you end up hating back on them. Take a step back and kind of start self-reflecting. And that's what I try to do. Anytime that I feel myself feeling these things, feeling jealous, feeling, insecure, or just feeling upset with them because they're reflecting what I'm not willing to do, then I try to have a conversation with myself. All right, Bryce, if you're jealous, why are you jealous? If you're insecure, what insecurity is this revealing, and what could you possibly do to achieve what they have? Because this is another thing, and I've heard this before, and I'm like, man, that's so true. You will never hear a successful person hate on someone that's like below them, or someone that's doing something that they've done before, an area where they've struggled before. You'll never hear that, because it's like they can relate. They know what it's like. So if you're hating on someone, or you're feeling jealous, or you're feeling insecure, chances are you see them at a different level. And now you just got to get to that level. Don't do what the average person does and where they try to bring them back down to your level so that they're ahead, right? Like I used to do that when I was in the gym trying to work out. If someone said that person was buff and they were up here, I would say, oh, they're on steroids, try to bring them down, or be like, oh, they have really weak legs, or they have no calves, or whatever. And I just try to chip and try to get a little bit higher. One, the conversation, I've done this before, if you just say, yeah, actually they are buffer than me, conversation ends. That's it. One, the person that said that comment might have been trying to bring you down because they see you're at a different level, right? This is how it all works. It's like a big trifecta. So say you got me, or I'll say Joe. You got Joe, Bob, and Jim. Jim's super buff. I'm not even going to say names because I just already figured them out. You got A, B, and C. A sees C, who's super buff, but A is jealous of B. So A takes C and says, hey, C is way buffer than you, B, to try and bring him down, to try and bring him up. And it's just this game of levels. It was very confusing. Not my best analogy that I've ever done before. But again, you are surrounded by people, the average person, where they're either trying to bring people up, or I'm sorry, bring people down. Very rarely do you ever meet someone that's trying to bring someone up. I've noticed that the only people that are trying to bring you up are the people above you, because they're comfortable, they're secure with themselves, and that's a rare quality to find. If someone's belittling you or trying to bring you down, then chances are you are the person that's above. So you have an option. You can either try to bring that person up, make them feel good about themselves, and stop belittling people, or you could have a conversation with them about self-reflection, or you could send them to my YouTube channel to watch this video. And that is what I would do when I'm faced with dealing with haters. So again, like I said, it's not the end-all be-all. These are certain tactics that I've just used. These are certain things that I've told students before, that like, hey guys, if someone's making fun of you, if someone's hating on you or something, they're 100% jealous of you. So look in the mirror. You probably got a lot going for you. It might be talent, it might be looks, it might be just how you talk to people, it might be the fact that people like you, it might be you have something going for you that someone does not like to see you succeed. And that's what the average person is doing. So that is my take on how to deal with haters and not be like the average person. I hope this helped you guys in your search for dealing with haters, because I know a lot of you guys out there are dealing with haters, and especially if you're trying to live the life in the D.B.A. way, where you're trying to stand out and not be average and do something great with your life, chances are you're going to attract haters. And how you deal with them is what separates you from the average person. So these are ways I deal with them. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below of how you deal with certain situations of haters, how you deal with insecurities, how you deal with being jealous, and how you deal with when someone's just a reflection of what you wish you can do. I would love to get your guys' feedback, because again, this is like I'm like a sponge. I just want to soak up as much knowledge as I can. And that's why I read so many books, is because there's a lot of smart people out there, way smarter than me, and that's why I try to hang out with them every single morning for at least 20 minutes, pick their brain, and then take some tactics, take some strategies, and then give them to you guys so you can apply them into your own life and live the D.B.A. way. So, appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you guys liking this video. I appreciate you guys commenting on this video. Make sure you share this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. Like I said, I'm always posting 2 videos a week. One on mindset, the D.B.A. mindset, which you're watching right now. And then my second one is all geared towards fitness, nutrition, full day of eating, all types of videos like that. If you guys are interested in those, again, make sure you subscribe. And then comment below what kind of topics you guys want to see me cover. I got a couple that I'm prepping for because I'm pretty excited about them. However, this channel also is about giving you guys what you guys want. So if there's a certain topic that, hey, Bryce, how do you deal with this? Again, first of all, I'm not like the Oracle. I don't know everything. I don't know a lot. But there are certain topics that I would love to at least give my feedback, just like how I asked for your feedback. So comment below, let me know what you guys want to see, and you guys already know the motto: stay happy, stay healthy, and above all, don't be average. Have a blessed day.